Well, good morning, Cam.
Greetings, Mitch. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. We are getting together for a real quick episode today to get the predictees out of the way for WWDC. Someone decided they're moving the weekend right before WWDC, so...
Hey, when you've been looking for a place for 7 months and you finally find one, you move when you move.
You take your opportunity.
Exactly. So
doesn't mean I can't give you grief about it.
Okay, fine. Fine.
All right, but real quick before we get into that, we have talked extensively on the show about my love for Star Wars, and specifically my love for Grand Admiral Thrawn. And you took it upon yourself to get the first book in the Thrawn Ascendancy series.
Yes.
I will just tell you that's not where I would have started you, but you seem to have some opinions about it. So, fire away. I'm interested to hear what you have to say.
So I will preface this by saying I have also gotten the second book, and I'm like 5 or 6 chapters into the second book. So all of the little nitpicky things I'm going to say were not enough.
You see right above my finger there?
Oh, the books. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got the physical books on the bookshelf.
Yeah. Sorry. I thought you were telling me to wait.
No.
No, I have the second one, the red one.
Yep.
So all of the things I'm about to nitpick about were not enough for me not to get the second book.
Mm-hmm.
Audiobooks. So I got the audiobooks.
Yeah. It is the superior experience in my opinion.
Well, and that is the one thing I'll say was the production value is so good. Not only is Mark Thompson an incredibly talented voice actor and reader, but all of the atmospheric sounds and the music and like the sound effects that go along. I mean, it is truly a full audio experience, which made it really, really enjoyable and helped you. Like the noises never distracted; they always supported and enhanced the reading and the acting. And the fact that one guy does all the voices is buck wild to me. He does the Anakin Skywalker in that book?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Because my gosh, is that spot on.
I'm reading the Cataclysm in the High Republic series right now, and he reads that, and he goes from Yoda to character that it reminds me of the voice that he used for the Nogri in the Legends Thrawn trilogy. It's just like a really gravelly, like, it just, I can't do it, but it's just a really kind of a gruff, like alien voice.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually not terrible at doing female voices. It's still a guy doing a female voice, but it could be way worse. So I've heard worse. Trust.
Well, you can always do worse, right? But so some of the biggest issue I had was Thrawn's voice.
Okay.
Yes, I'm Thrawn. Like it's like he was British 50 years ago. And like there's a couple other voices in the book where I'm like, that should have been Thrawn's voice. So it's one of those things that I've gotten over it because I've listened to it enough. But like at first I was like, oh no, I do not think this is good. And then his voice for Cheery, I'm Cheery the Skywalker. That was really annoying. And she's kind of a big part of the book. But she's also like a 9-year-old girl. So, what else is a grown man going to do with that? I thought it was silly that they call their navigators Skywalkers, and then late in the book, Anakin shows up and his last name is Skywalker, and they like poke fun at it and like kind of break the fourth wall a little bit, which I was like, okay, at least they're acknowledging the fact that, this is a thing.
Right.
But overall, I really enjoyed the book. I like origin stories, which is why I started with this one. Also because it's canon and not legend. So that was one of the other reasons I started it. But overall, really good story. The whole concept of the Chiss society of like the families and then your, a merit adoptive and then trial born and then ranking distant, like you get adopted into the family, and based on how you serve the family and the ascendancy, right, which is what they call their people group or their planet system, well, no, the planet's just chaos. Anyways, but like their government, right? Their military. Based on how you serve the family in the military, you can progress from just being some random kid that wasn't born to one of the, they don't say royal, but royal families, right?
Yeah,
The main
the 9
old,
families.
yeah. And so you can work your way through the system so that your bloodline actually joins that. And so that adds in a whole lot of interesting relational tension, not only between members of the same family, but also members of different families. And then that adds to the politics and then the military. And I think it's hysterical that Thrawn is like a military strategic genius, but like when it comes to politics is like a kindergartner and
Oh,
can't
he's
figure it
terrible.
out.
Yeah.
And it's like laughable. And okay, so that's funny.
He
But
gets
like
better. He gets better, but the first book really does. This whole strategic mindset really battles against his ability to be political and politically savvy, so
yeah, which is, I think is hysterical. The other thing that I thought was a weird was that he could tell how their battleships would move in war based on their culture's art. Like, hard pass on that one.
So that is a huge through line in all the Thrawn books.
I don't buy it for a second.
He studies their cultures and the cult. It's not just their art, but the art it plays.
But in the
into
first
it
book,
a lot.
they make a big point about the art being
but
and like
in the Legends trilogy, in the canon trilogy, the Thrawn trilogy in canon, it runs through all of those books. This idea that he can look at a culture and know how they're going to react. So I think some of the books do a better job of explaining it than
I get
than
that from looking at the whole culture, right? How they treat people, what their value like. But they made such a like how do I want to say this? They made references to all those other parts, but it was so heavy. He was an art academic that was studying the art for the Nick Ardoon and blah, blah and this, and then studying the art. It was just all about the art, and then eventually it got to a little bit more of the culture around that, and so I'm hoping it expands to more because that's way more believable than like, oh, look at this one painting. I know exactly how they're going to fight their battles.
So what he's
no,
trying,
you don't.
No, let me respond to that. What he's doing is he's looking at the art because the art reveals the society, reveals the culture in a lot of ways, and that's how they try to frame it in some of the other books. So when he's looking at a painting or he's looking at a sculpture, he's seeing what the society, and it's usually more than just a single painting. It's usually the art of this entire culture, revealing things about that culture. And you'll find that in some of the books, they'll go into a little bit more explanation about, well, this particular thing in here shows these patterns of behavior and the way this class society would work and how they would respond to a certain type of stimuli. I think it may be that this book doesn't do as good a job of explaining it as some of the other books do.
Well, and it's also like it's an introduction to him, and so maybe he is not as developed in his perception of
that could be
the
true.
full cultures. Because remember, in the first book, there's this thing between him and Admiral Aralani where Aralani sees aliens as people and he sees them as assets. So like even his appreciation of them as actual beings is subpar, right? And so, like I said, it's book one. That was not the primary focus of the book. It's just something that I read and I was just like, that feels. I know when we're talking about aliens with blue skin and red eyes that fly spaceships and fight in space, but the one thing I'm going to think is unbelievable is his ability to parse art into war strategy. So like I realize I'm being a bit pedantic, but it was just one of those things that was like, this doesn't feel great. But like I said, it's book one. I'm listening to book two. None of this stopped me from continuing because the story's good, the characters are interesting. It's nice to have, just like with Andor, or Mandalorian, it's nice to have totally new characters and new storylines in an already familiar world and figure out how like you get to see different aspects of the universe that we didn't get to see from the original movies. So like I'm all for it.
The chaos is a really interesting place to explore as well because it
Yeah.
is so different from the rest of the galaxy.
So all that to say, I enjoyed it. I had a few quibbles. Big shock. I have opinions. Who knew? But I'm still listening to book 2. So, and it's the same actor, and I've grown accustomed to Thrawn's voice now. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. So
That's the canonical voice of Thrawn. It's even in the cartoon series, the only thing they did is made his voice a little bit more breathy, which I hate. But in the books, it's not quite so breathy. And then and hopefully when he comes into live action later this year in the Ahsoka series, they'll maintain some of that Thrawnness of him. I'm really just afraid that they're gonna screw him up. So
he comes on scene. It's like dark music. You can see him from the back with his white jacket. The smoke rising. He turns around and goes, "Hi, I'm Thrawn. How are you?"
I will turn it off, and I will never watch another episode. I might even just quit Star Wars altogether.
I might wait for that to come out and then overdub it and send a video to you just for fun.
I have my little Thrawn statue sitting right on my desk. So.
Okay, so I have a really stupid question before we move on, and we have to move on because we're
on a time constraint today, so we got to keep moving.
Yep, so I'm going to sound really ignorant here. Cad Bane, the bounty hunter from Clone Wars, blue skin, red eyes, not Chiss.
Not Chiss. No.
Okay. What do you know? What species he is?
Not off the top of my head.
I figured he wasn't, but I was like, they sure do look alike. Cad Bane.
Cad Bane is a cool character, though. He's Duros. And when I was playing the Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, you'll see a lot of blue characters with red eyes. Most of those are going to be Duros. The only ones that have really been in the galaxy, the only Chiss that's actually in the galaxy or in any of the TV shows, movies, books, really, even before the Thrawn Ascendancy, has just been Thrawn. There hasn't been that we know of. If you look at Legends in the Hand of Thrawn, there's supposed to be supposedly some of the Chiss there, but that's the only other place where you see a Chiss other than Thrawn outside of the Thrawn Ascendancy books. So everything else is Duras. So.
All right, then. Very good.
They come from the homeworld of Duro.
All right.
You might have guessed. Anyway.
Went there for our spring break in 99.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It was nuts.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have, I think I might have this working now, so let's give this a try. We are going to get into our predictees for... All right, so I don't have any like weird rules or anything to go over, but that's a reference. But we do have our predictees to go through today, and we have these all slotted in. Looks like we're going to do one pick per OS. We're going to do a pick for new or updated app, and I really don't want you to steal mine. We got 2 wild card picks, a Buck wild card pick, and then we're gonna pick one of our annual predictees that we made that we think is going to be fulfilled at this event.
WWDC.
Yes.
Which
it really bothers me that I've got the March Apple event in our numbers document here, and they never did
empty. One. It's empty. Why is it empty, Mitch?
There wasn't one, and I told you which week it was supposed to happen, but
yeah, it's a bummer you lost that annual predictees pick.
Yep. That one's
real sad for
red
you,
for sure. All right, well, how do we want to do this?
I don't care.
We can go to the last predictees and see who won that, and have that individual go first. Which I beat you 8-6 in the September event last year, and that was the last event, man, back in September.
Yeah. You've been a very passive and silent benevolent predictator since September, I must say.
Yeah. I can't wait to figure out something to do with Midjourney for the Benevolent Predictator.
Careful with that one.
I'm gonna try. We'll see what happens. But so loser goes first, winner goes first. What do you think?
Oh, I don't care. You are the benevolent predictator. What you
All
say
right,
goes.
I will say that winner goes first.
All right.
I think that's only fair. And we'll do it snake draft style. So I'll make a pick, you'll make two picks, and then I'll make two picks, and we'll kind of go back and forth like that, just so that I'm not going first every time and stealing yours. You have the opportunity to steal one from me, or a few, which I'm going to be really angry with if it happens. All right. So for iOS picks, we're going to start with iOS because that seems like a good place to start. I'm going to pick. I don't think that's going to happen this year. Let's go with Control Center redesign. I think we're going to see a redesign of Control Center, some changes to the Control Center on iOS.
All right. It's now going to be in Comic Sans.
What? Oh, no. That would be awful.
Yeah.
Actually, that'd be kind of funny in an ironic way.
All right. And I don't remember what I put because I did it yesterday. The big reveal.
So just app library customization.
Let's go.
Little wish casting here, but yeah, very nice.
App library customization. Now, this isn't mere wish casting, Mitch. There are rumors that this will be one of the things that Apple does to appease the masses. Folks like me who are like, why is this folder at the top? Why is this app in this folder? It makes no sense.
All right.
Let me organize my folders the way that I want to organize them. Please and thank you.
Well, then we wouldn't be able to just look through and inanely find whatever folder we're supposed to be looking for and all that weirdness. That would take all the fun out of it.
I want to put the 4 folders I use the most at the top, and I want to put the apps that belong in those folders.
Okay. That's fair.
Now, the argument against this is just put them in folders on your second screen. It's the same experience. And yeah, you're right. But you know what? I didn't think about that till just now. So leave me alone.
Which to be honest with you, I don't like that experience. I do enjoy the experience of going into the app library.
Well, I like in the app library, the 3 first apps are the big hit, and you can just tap right on them without going into the folder.
Correct.
And generally, one of those 3 is what I want to use. And so it's not the exact same experience, but I literally just thought of that counter argument on the spot right now and cannot believe I hadn't thought about it till now. Still not the same experience. I would prefer customizing the app library, but if I don't get app customization or app library customization, I will use that second screen as a...
He will have a second screen of nothing but folders.
No, just like... Well, the other thing is the folders will just go to the top. So I gotta put widgets I don't want to force them. Anyways, app library customization.
All right.
We're going with that.
All right. So then we'll move on to iPad OS. And what is your pick for iPad OS?
My pick for iPad OS is improved external display support / features. Meaning, this could be something like clamshell mode for the iPad, where it's solely an external display that you're using. It could be better use of that screen real estate, meaning you can have more apps open in it via Stage Manager or whatever. It could be support for bigger external monitors, like a 5K or whatever. So that's what I'm saying about improved external display support or features. The user experience with an iPad and external display is enhanced or improved in a way.
All right.
That fair?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go for customizable lock screen. Very, very iPhone-like customizable lock screen. I think that this needs to happen. We'll see something. I would think the experience would be similar, if not identical, to what they gave us in the iPhone last year. So probably widgets similar to what we got last year. Maybe additional widgets instead of just having 4 or 2 or 3 or whatever. You'll have more to go across the screen. But we'll see what happens there.
Clever. I like it.
Yep.
I will not be mad if you get that one right.
I won't be mad either. So, all right. So we're going to watchOS next, and it's my pick. And I want to be more specific with this, but I think I'm going to keep it a little bit more general. We're going to go with trying to figure out how to phrase this. I'm going to go with the interface redesign. I want to stay out of the idea of a major interface redesign, but there's going to be something really different about the. You know what? Let's make this more specific. I don't like this. Let's make it. I think the specific thing about this or the interface redesign is that they're supposed to be bringing widgets to the iPhone. So I'm going to say widgets. I'm sorry, Apple Watch. Widgets on Apple Watch. And I want to keep that a little bit open because I'm not sure exactly how they're going to do that. But the rumor is that there's going to be like this kind of overlay that when you click on the side button or something like that, this little overlay is going to pop up and it's going to have widgets on there, like glanceable widgets, as opposed to just the complications on the main screen.
Well, I really like what you just said, Mitch. You know why I like what you just said, Mitch?
Because you picked interface redesign.
No, because I picked custom button functionality.
All right.
So whether it's the digital crown or the side button, there's going to be a new functionality that you can choose what it does.
Okay. So
like if you long press the digital crown, maybe that's where the widgets pop out. Or if you long press or just double tap the side button, like like right now, one of them's Apple Pay, one of them launches Siri, that sort of stuff. So I'm hoping maybe I should just put new button functionality. That way we both get this right if it's the widgets. But that also feels like a cheap pick. So I will say custom button functionality, meaning I can choose.
You can customize it.
I can customize what the either the side button or the digital crown does in a new way, because I think there's certain ways you can do it now where you can decide. So it's a new form or a new option for the button functionalities on the non-ultra watches, because obviously the ultra watch has the action button, right?
Right, they already
have. This is for non-ultra Apple watches, a new custom functionality for either or both of the buttons on the Apple Watch.
All right.
Good. Are you good with that?
I'm good with that.
That feels not like a cheap one. I think if I should just put new button functionality, that would just be too silly.
So for it to work, we have to have a choice between how, say, the side button works or what the crown button does
in a way that currently doesn't exist.
Currently doesn't exist. Okay.
Correct. Yeah. So new.
It'll be one of those things where I'm going to let you be the honest sort and say if you got it or not, because
that's fair.
Yeah. Unless I've got a good argument, I'll trust you on that one.
Okay, and then I go next, right, for tvOS?
Correct.
Oh, I'm excited, Mitch. I'm excited to be wrong about this one.
Widgets
on tvOS. This goes back to that home dashboard view that I've been talking about for the last year and a half, where now that may not be, I'm not arguing for that sort of dashboard here. I'm just saying we will get some form of widgets, whether that's in that popover screen, where you can change your audio source or you can view your home kit TVs, maybe like on Mac, how the widgets slide over. We get something like that on Apple TV. I'm just saying I think, will this happen? No. Should it? Yes. But some form, like you said on the Apple Watch, of glanceable widgets now on the TV.
Right.
Like, what if they brought the dynamic island to the TV? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's similar, like we were talking about on the iPad or Mac or whatever. So,
I'm going to take a risk here
oh,
and make an anti-pick
yeah, oh,
and say no mention of tvOS in the keynote.
oh, okay, great. This plays well with the later pick that I have in my wild card
Yep.
section.
Yep. I don't know what they would add to make it worth
You think they
talking
would go
about.
2 WWDCs in a row without mentioning it?
Well, they mentioned it last year, but it was just like, there's this little new customization and there's this little thing here, and we improve the like it was like the most minimal thing they could have talked about. So no mention of tvOS in the keynote.
That would make me sad.
All right. So now that turns to me in
Yes, drum roll.
macOS, and I've only got one thing listed in my notes here. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this in as my pick. Widgets on the desktop.
And
Widgets
we have
can.
some widget heavy picks,
Oh, we're all about the widgets.
so they're not trapped in the sidebar like they have been, or that the what do they call that, the notification view or whatever it's called, when you click on the date and time, and you got all your notifications and your widgets in there.
Yeah, so you might be able to still keep them in the sidebar, but you'll be able to move them out onto the desktop.
Nice. All right.
I think
My
they
Mac
have to do
OS.
this at some point.
Well, you would think,
Yeah.
right? You would think. That's the thing with a lot of these picks, is they're not necessarily bad picks. It's just whether or not Apple has decided now is the time to do it.
Correct.
Like, a lot of our picks like make total sense. It's just a matter of timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Has Apple decided now is the time, or are they going to wait, 6 months or a year to do it? Like, none of these picks are ridiculous in like expectation. It's just Apple can only do so much at a time, especially with this headset that's coming, that's going to eat up assumingly a ton of the keynote, right? Which is why also we have, for listeners, to remind you, the 24-hour rule. We have up until 24 hours after the keynote for a lot of these things to like show up in news releases or on the website or what have you.
Now that does not apply to my no mentions of tvOS, because I did specify that it had to be in the keynote.
Look at that. I'll take it.
All right.
So all of that to say, my Mac OS pick is improved Stage Manager experience. Now, I'm assuming if this shows up on the Mac, this will also show up on the iPad, but I'm putting it here because, like we've talked about before, the ability to have hotkeys to open in a new stage or open in current stage, to close a stage, like just all of those quality of life improvements that I've talked about a bunch that would make Stage Manager more user friendly and enjoyable, is I'm hoping we get those iterations, or at least some of them this time around, for Apple to say, hey, we hear you. Here's more of here's more ways to interact with Stage Manager and make it work the way that you want it to.
I want to pin apps to the desktop, or Windows to the desktop, so that when you switch from one stage to the next, you have like, say for Zoom, it would work really well for Zoom. I can pin Zoom to the desktop, and then I can switch between different things next to Zoom, dependent upon which stage I'm in.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Does that not work with Split View? I guess I would on the iPad, but probably not on the Mac.
Yeah, Split View and Stage Manager are two different window management systems.
Right. I was just thinking you could do it with Split View on the iPad without using Stage Manager, but again, you're talking about on your Mac, so.
Yeah.
All right. So that's my Mac OS pick.
All right, you get to go first for new app or updated app.
And I think this is the one where we're all hoping we steal the other person's. So I already know what's in here, but I'm going to give you the good reveal. I'm taking low hanging fruit and saying the health app is going to be updated.
All right, so you think good update to the health app.
Yep.
I'm doing a pick for a new app that has been heavily rumored.
Oh, does it
Because
start with a certain letter
of course,
and
it all starts
end
with a
with some
certain letter
others?
and it ends with some other letters. Very good.
Well, I didn't want to
How
steal
did
your
you
thunder.
know?
Sorry. Well, English, I happen to be very good at it.
Okay. Anyway, I think there's going to be a huge focus at WWDC this year on mental health. And as part of that, I think they're going to be offering a new journal app. I don't know what it's going to be called. I think they would probably be basic enough to just call it journal or diary or something like that. But this could be anything from just a text field that you type in, maybe pull a picture in, um, click on an emoji to tell you how you're feeling or track how you're feeling. It could be anything real simple like that, or it could go into the more deep stuff where it can pull from health. It can pull from your like even maps to show where you've been, or like Find My or Maps or whatever, to show locations that you've been in. Maybe from calendar to show that, hey, I worked today, or, I did this. I talked to Cam today. That's probably why I'm feeling blue. No, I'm just kidding. But it'll be able to draw from a lot of different information to let you know, like, here's some of the things that you did today, and then you said at the end of the day that you weren't feeling real good. So maybe this is a pattern to watch. I think that this journaling app could be very simple, or it could really be a full featured app. So I think probably lean more towards simple, much to my dismay, because I'd like it to be more complicated. But and I think that doing that, they almost have to open up some APIs to developers to be able to hook into some of this stuff too. So I'm not sure how all that would work, but I just think from uh, from Apple looking at getting more legislated and stuff like that, I think that they're going to need to think about being able to open up some of this stuff for other people to use, and a good way to do that. So, but
Yeah,
but the pick is a journal app.
yeah, and I wonder too, with Apple's history, if they introduce it this year in a more basic format, and then next year they open up the API to the third party once they see how people are using it, or maybe they do it halfway through the year, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I almost picked that one, but I decided to go with an updated app that I know is going to get updated just to secure the point. But I still think it's a good pick. I think you're going to get it. It's been so heavily rumored.
Yeah.
All right, sir. Are we now in the wild card?
We are
round?
now in the wild card, and I think
Get that
I'm
air
leading
horn.
the wild card. No, I don't have that one queued up. Sorry, man.
I got you covered.
All right.
Whether you want it or not.
Now, for me, I've got to go and look at what are some of the possible wild card picks that I've got for today, and I don't have a lot of them. But one thing we haven't talked about at all so far,
Android.
well, we haven't talked about that, no, until now. But we haven't talked about the AR VR mixed reality headset that's supposedly going to be announced at the event too. So this is where I think at least one of my wild card picks has to go, because I think it's going to happen. So I think we're going to see a new AR VR mixed reality headset at WWDC. I'm just going to make it a broad pick there.
Are you excited for this, or do you not care?
I wasn't excited about this until I started hearing some of the rumors that there's some people that have gotten their hands on it and they're blown away by it. Which makes me wonder if it's really a bigger deal than what we think it is. I'm not sure how that becomes a bigger deal, but I think that there's a potential here that this could be a much bigger deal than what we think. So,
Guess there's only one way to find out.
I'm putting it in the show notes here as AR, VR, XR headset announced. So that's the official pick.
What is XR?
Mixed reality.
Oh, they couldn't just go MR.
You know they're going to do XR. XR's are already in the rumors that it's might be referred to as XROS.
All right, you ready for my first wild card pick?
Hit me.
So you said the tvOS gets no screen time. I said tvOS gets the least amount of screen time.
Well, that's a pretty safe bet.
Well, wild card is
So okay.
wild
so
card means it's categoryless.
Now we got to figure out how we
Buck wild means crazy, right?
Okay.
Like let's define the rounds. Wild card means we can pick
Oh
anything.
no, 100%. I agree with you.
And buck wild means you got to stretch it a bit.
But here's the thing. We need to adjudicate this for a second, because if tvOS gets 0 screen time, do you get a point?
No, because it doesn't get any screen time.
Okay, because the thought is, or at least your pick seems to suggest, that it gets some screen time.
No, this is a binary choice. If it gets no screen time, you win.
Okay.
If it gets 2 seconds, I win.
Okay. All right.
I'm
good with that.
To get the least amount of screen time means there actually has to be some screen time.
Okay. I can live with that.
Yeah. So no, this is a binary. One of us is getting this right.
Okay.
Well, actually, we could both get it wrong if it gets more than, say, home kit stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm leaning towards one of us is getting this right.
Okay. All right. I'm good with that.
All right. So I believe it is me again.
Yes.
All right. So for my second wild card pick, folks at home, if I could get a drum roll, please. Oh, thank you very much. There will be a new MacBook Air announced.
I like it. I didn't even think of that, but I like
it. And I'm not going to put a size restriction on this one. And I know hardware, the headset's going to be a thing. I don't know if this will get demoed, and this may just be one of those 24-hour rule wins where they announce it in a press release after WWDC. Hey, new iPad Air 15-inch or new version of the, whatever. So I'm banking on this being a 24-hour rule win, then more so than the keynote one. So we shall see.
All right.
Now, all right. So you get to do your wild card, and then we're gonna get Buck Wild.
So anyway, so I'm down to 2 different picks that I had in my list here. One of them's a watchOS pick, and one of them's a real general. Actually, it's more of an iOS pick, or iOS or iPadOS pick. One of them I feel like is a really likely to happen. The other one I'm thinking could happen, but isn't quite so likely. All right, I'm going to go with the more likely of the two. I'm going to say that watchOS gets complication stacks.
Oh my gosh. Why?
Because it's rumored.
There's already enough information density on my watch. How are you going to rotate through stacks?
I think it's probably going to be just like the large widget or large complication. That you'll just be able to flick it, and you'll be able to see more than one in that section. I would love that because there's a modular face that I use on a regular basis that I have to change that middle complication every so often, because there's 2 or 3 different complications that I like using in that spot. So to be able to stack 3 of them there would be awesome, because then I can just flick through them depending on what I need. So, all right. So watch gets complication stacks like iOS widgets.
All right.
All right. Is it my turn, or is it your turn?
Yep.
All right. So for our Buck Wild picks, there have been rumors about what the price of the AR headset's going to be. And I'm going to make a pick based on that, because I think that the latest rumors here put it in a place where it's going to be very iPad-like, where there's going to be a whole bunch of rumors about how it's going to be so expensive. $1,000, $1,500 is going to be so expensive. And then they're going to come in and they're just going to pull the rug out from everybody. I think your AR headset is going to be under $2,000. The rumor right now is that the parts cost is about $1,400-$1,500. And that Apple is not going to be, or they're going to be selling it basically about at cost. To get it out the door and get things moving with this. So they're not looking to make money on the headset initially. So that's the rumor. And that is buck wild, right?
Yeah, I guess.
All right.
Goodness gracious. All right. Are you ready for mine, Mitch?
Hit me.
I need you to mentally and spiritually prepare for what I'm about to introduce into the world.
Okay.
All right. I need you to close your eyes.
I'm not looking at it anyway. I'm not looking at it.
Ladies and gentlemen, my buck wild card pick for the 2023 Worldwide Developer Conference is Craig Federighi wears Paisley.
All right. That is buck wild.
It's happened once before that I can remember. I think. Unless I'm confusing him with Eddie Q, who's much more likely to wear Paisley. But anyways, that's my pick. Craig's going to get a little fancy and wear a Paisley shirt for us. Mitch is trying to decide if he wants to end the show now or not.
No, I'm looking at my annual predictees because the next category is annual. What we're picking one of our annual predictees to throw in here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a low hanging fruit one here that I probably am going to end up getting. So
no shame in that. Wait till you see what I did for mine.
All right. Well, challenge accepted.
Oh, I get to go again though, right?
Yeah, you're next.
Yeah. So my annual predictees pick, and this is we did our annual predictees back in January, and every event we pick something from that list that we think is going to actually happen at this event.
Right.
So naturally, my pick is that the metal engine gets improved, which happens every WWDC.
All right. Metal engine gets approved. I'm going to take the VR headset will be announced at or before WWDC to ship later.
Yeah,
like it could ship on Friday, and that's later. So, all right.
How you feel about your picks?
I'm feeling pretty good. There's a few of them in there that I'm like, maybe, but we will see. So, I know one thing that's really bugging me is I've been copying and pasting these from Notion, and the fonts are just all jacked, so I got to fix that. And of course, they're all different sizes. All right, there we go. All fixed. So, alrighty. Well, I think I'm feeling really good about my picks. How are you feeling about yours?
You know, looking back over the list now, this is going to be feast or famine, I think, for me.
This is always the hard one because there's only so many rumors out there, and software rumors are usually the easiest to keep under wraps. So if we're going to be surprised, this is where we're going to be surprised. I mean, they could do a huge update to tvOS and we don't even see it coming.
Oh, please, Apple, do it.
Yeah, I mean, you imagine if they completely redesigned the tvOS. So
be glorious. I doubt it's going to happen, but a man can dream.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got 3 locks, which does not instill great confidence in me for the rest. But sometimes you just gotta go for broke.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough call. A couple of these feel like slam dunks, and a few of them feel like risks. So we'll see. All right, it's a little over a week away. So, no, wait. Yeah, it's a week from Monday, isn't it?
Indeed, it is.
So, it's a little over a week away, and we will find out Yeah. So, and we ended in good time. I like it.
We did. We nailed it, man.
Nailed it. So if you are looking to find out more about us, you can of course check out innerdialogue.show for the show page. And there is a feedback link on that page that will send an email to me. So if you have any feedback, comments, questions, anything like that, feel free to send those over. Just click on that feedback link and fill out the form, and we will get that. So excited about that. Also, if you want to find out more about me, MitchCraig.online. Cam, where can they find you?
CamBrennan.com.
CamBrennan.com. Indeed, it is. You have a nice, lovely website.
Thanks.
So, all right. Well, that about does it for our Predictees episode. Thanks for dropping by this morning and throwing this together quick. I think it actually works out nice. We'll get this out well before WWDC, so people are going to enjoy it. And then we'll do the results of the Predictees as soon as we can as well. So I know a few things are up in the air yet with your moves, so we'll figure that out and get that posted. So, all right. Well, it's been fun.
It has.
Enjoy your trip to Michigan today.
Yeehaw, amen, hallelujah. Cannot wait.
All right. Well, thanks, man. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye now.